Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy CrispPurpose back at it again with another Gems of War Raid Boss event team video for you guys. So this week we are in the Goblin Kingdom of Zaejin for this one, and we have a good amount of great goblin options, man. Goblins are known for their extra turns, so you're gonna have a good amount of troops to pick from. But of course, we're going up against a Rocky Dagonaut for this one, and we need to pay attention to the event captain, which is Lord Gabt. This is a troop that you need to have in your team because he's going to deal ×2 magic and earns you ×2 score for this raid boss event. So for this one, we're going to be looking at about 2 teams for the raid boss event and of course a team for the Zaejin Underspire. The teams are going to be following up right after this. So this is the first team that I'm going to be running for this Zaejin restricted, I should say Zaejin restricted, yes, raid boss event. So King Gobtruffle is going to be at the top of this one. This is a very well-known troop available in the Amanathrax faction, which is associated with Zaejin. Elemental Goblin, 18 mana cost. I wish that they didn't nerf this troop, but if it does get a rework sometime in the future, if Zaejin gets a rework, I hope that they reduce the mana cost for King Gobtruffle and buff up his spell once again. The Mushroom Mania spell is a great one because it deals magic +2 damage to all enemies, and it will create a mix of 14 green and brown gems boosted by poisoned and diseased enemies, and it will gain an extra turn as all goblins do. The troop also has that Spore Cloud for the final trait, so it will disease a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. Disease makes it so that enemies can't gain mana as fast. Then we have Zarg Boompile is here. Zarg's Boompile is, of course, a goblin construct, 24 mana cost. It's a mythic troop, so it's not the easiest to get, but you can get this troop, and it should be available in event keys this week. The Big Boom spell is useful as well because it deals, it destroys, I should say, a 5x5 circle. Then it will deal scatter damage, boosted by red gems destroyed, and it will gain an extra turn. It's great to have on the team because it will give you additional mana generating at the start of each turn with the one little spark final trait. It will explode 2 skulls when my turn begins. Of course, if you don't have Zarg's Boompile, I'll showcase another option that players can use for this event, but this is the first one. Then the Norbert's Turnip is going to be here. This is one of the best weapons in the game. Why? Because it has quick in the weapon upgrades. So even if you don't attach this with the Goblin class, which is Thief, you can still gain an extra turn from this weapon because of the weapon upgrades. And of course, it generates mana boosted by the amount of goblins on your team. So you want to make sure you have a full 4-team setup of goblins here to get the max boost ratio from this. And it also creates green and red. Now, the troop that was given into the game this week, Count Gabula, also creates green and red gems. Oh, sorry, this is not green and red. This is green and purple. Right? Bleed gems are purple gems, not red. Oh man, for some reason I thought this was gonna be red. But yeah, this is green purple. Kind of weird. Green purple, green purple, green purple. That's kind of weird. I might take a look at this later on to see what I could combine this troop with. But this is a gem spawner that gains an extra turn. So that is pretty useful no matter how you look at it. I might see what other troops in the game create green purple. That's pretty cool. At the back of the team, though, there is Lord Gopt on this one. So this is for the early battles. You want to have the team structured like this: Gobtruffle up front with Lord Gopt in the back. As you get the raid boss into the the enemy team and he is more, having more HP, armor, and everything else, you want to rotate these, right? You might want to put your Gobtruffle in the second slot, and then your Lord Gobt at the first slot, and Zarg's Boompile at the back. But in the early battles, when the enemy doesn't have much HP and they're very easy to kill with one cast from Gobtruffle, keep your Gobtruffle in the first slot. So for the banner here, we're going with the Pax banner for this one. Hunting Pax Warbands is a +2 on green, +1 on brown. They're romancing yellow because I think no matter what, because of my potions here, as you guys can see on the left, I have decent amount of potions selected: Potion of Enchantment, Potion of Explosion, Potion of Rejuvenation, and the Potion of Armor. And I have a 20% start from Anu, so I should be able to get spell ready very fast and kill out these enemy troops. Let's hop in this fight right here and see how this actually works out against this Stony Dagonaut. And hopefully, guys, Vault event was good, man. I actually farmed somewhat for this vault event. Didn't do it that much, so I got a small amount of keys, very modest amount. I'm not going to say exactly how much because it's not that much, right? So hopefully you guys got a decent amount of it. So as you guys saw, that battle was very fast. I think the class actually killed out some of the troops here. The sneak attack is dealing 7 damage to the last enemy when matching 4 or more gems. And there is an option that the class has as well for the Rising Shadows. It's a 7% chance to assassinate the last enemy when another enemy dies. So clearly, we were killing the enemies with that. And that's one of the great things about classes like Thief, you know what I mean? An Assassin, I think, has a trait like that as well. And does Orb Weaver has a trait like that? I think Necromancer um, has a trait like that. And it's really good to have, man. It makes some of these battles that would have taken much longer, much quicker. As you guys can see, I'm flying through the fights here. I love having teams like this, especially when you have Zarg's Boompile on the team. Zarg is just allowing you to gain a lot of mana additionally because he's exploding 2 of those skulls, right? And when a gem explodes, all 8 gems surrounding that singular gem will be exploded as well. So that's a lot of mana coming back to me without doing anything on the starting board. So that is the first team that I'm going to be suggesting here. King Gob Truffle, followed by Zarg's Boompile, followed by Norbert's Turnip, and then Lord Gob at the back of the team. As I said before, you can rotate Lord Gob to the first slot, maybe Gob Truffle in the second slot. In the last slot, you might want to put that Zarg's Boompile. The second team for this Raid Boss event is going to be following up right after this. So here is the second team that you can use for this Zaejin restricted raid boss event. So Flaming Oni is going to be on this one. This is one of the better generator options in this kingdom. So Flaming Oni has the Goblin Horde spell, in which it will summon 3 random goblins, then explode 66 green gems. That's magic +1 green gems and gain a extra turn. Now, this troop right here, I really like to use because just in case you lose a lot of your troops, you can just resummon the entire team once you have this sucker ready to go. He also has the Song of Fire trait, so you'll summon a firestorm at start of battle, and he has that Red Rage final trait in which you will convert 2 red gems to burning gems. When my turn begins, burning gems are simply red gems that when you explode them, match them, or destroy these gems, they will burn a random enemy. So on the team as well, we have Queen Grapplepot here. I just wanted to showcase another AoE damaging troop from this kingdom, and Queen Grapplepot is just that. Now, a lot of people forget about this troop right here, simply because it does not have any board control. But even if it doesn't have any board control, it's still a great troop to use to deal some damage. Queen Grapplepot as well has the ability to give life to all goblin allies when matching 4 or more gems. So it actually gives 5 life to all goblin allies. Now, the weapon is the same, as you can see in Norbert's Turnip, but there are a number of other weapons that you can use in this restriction. So let's go over here and see some of the explodey type weapons that you have. So you have the Dead End weapon, which is the event weapon. This is available in the event shop right now. Remember, someone last week was asking me how can they get a particular weapon. All weapons are available in the event shop. So let me back out of here and go over to the shop. So whenever there is a new raid boss event, you will have the event weapon right there in the shop. Once you buy up to tier 3, you should be able to get that weapon. All right. As I said before, Lord Gopt is at top of the team. Let me showcase the other weapons. I don't want to bypass this and not showcase these. So there it is, Dead End, and other weapons such as Norbert's Turnip, along with Hack Job are available. This is another generator type weapon that creates green and brown. Could be very useful troops like Gob Truffle, just in case you didn't get Norbert's Turnip. But overall, in the Soulforge this week, Norbert's Turnip is the best weapon to get, right? It generates mana. You can use this with whatever class you want. You don't have to use it with the Goblin class. I've seen players use this with, they're using an entire Goblin team, but they switch the class to Elementalists, and there you go. Really, really powerful option, simply because the weapon has an extra turn in the weapon upgrades. Gob Stickers there as well. It's another exploity type weapon that generates mana, summons in a particular troop. The Rock Stabber is another weapon that you can use. Explodes green, summons in goblins. Cool weapon. Of course, nothing is as good as this, but it's another option. And there we also have the Dagger of Zaejin. This is another weapon that has the ability to gain an extra turn. So, just keep that in mind as you go through this week. There are great options available for weapons. Now, the banner on this team is the Burning Banner from the Fire and Fury Warband. So this is a +2 on red, +1 on yellow. They're minusing blue because, Lord Goth is at the top, and I think he should get spell ready very easily. Shouldn't have a problem here. Let's hop into a fight and see how we can blow through this one. All right, got some explosions right there, and you really want to get your turnip spell ready as quick as possible, and you just cast that. Hopefully get some 4-gem matches. There you go. And even if you don't, you can go ahead and match the 4-gem matches if they're still on the board, right? That's a cool thing about that weapon. Let's hop into one more fight here. Then we're going to move on to the Underspire and see what we can make use of down there. The teams, of course, are going to be similar, but I want to showcase something for the low end of the Underspire and then, more difficult battles in the Underspire. All right, what do we have here? Can we get a 4-gem match? We just need to match some greens or reds or whatever. See what I'm talking about? Because you just spawn in those gems and you gain the extra turn. Even if you don't get an extra turn off the gems that you spawn in immediately, you can go ahead and match them. Right? That's a cool thing about this weapon. So yeah, guys, that is the second team right there. Lord Gob, followed by Norbert's Turnip once again, and then Queen Grapplepot, and of course, Flaming Oni at the back of this one. The team for the Underspire is going to be following up right after this. So here is the team that I'm going to be running for the start to the end of the Underspire this week for Zaejin. So King God Truffle is once again at the top right here as my main AoE damaging option, followed by Norbert's Turnip in the second slot with the Thief Hero class. As I go into the deeper battles that enemy has a lot more HP and armor and attack and a lot more magic, I'm going to switch this off from being Thief Hero class and I'm going to go with the Elementalist class because I want to ensure that I'm entangling and freezing these enemy troops as I deal damage to them. And then 2 copies of ZBP on this one. Of course, if you don't have 2 copies of ZBP, you can go ahead and put on whatever other goblins that you see fit in the restriction. But for me, I'm running with 2 copies of ZBP because I want to make it fast. And I want to be waiting around when I'm blowing through my battles here because how I do the Underspire is I save up my torches from the start of the week all the way to the end. And by the time Saturday, Sunday rolls around, I'm blowing through all of my fights really fast. I'm just kicking back, watching a football game with Cam, and then that's how I'm playing it. I'm being honest here. So I like to go through it fast. I don't want to wait too long. I want my battles to be quick and enjoyable. So that's how I roll with mine. So that's why I'm showcasing this to you. So the banner I'm going with on this one is the Maze banner from the Labyrinth faction. This is a +2 on green, +1 on red. They're minusing purple because obviously none of my troops use purple mana on this one. Let's hop into a fight here. Of course, if you're at a high magic level and you want to use troops such as High King Iron God, I should say, right? You can go ahead and use it. He is a great option to use in restrictions like these. But for me right now, I want to roll with, something real quick in these early fights that I can just kill them out with like 2 casts and they're all dead, right? Sometimes it's going to be 1 cast and they're all dead because of how the gems cascade. But in these early fights, this is what I'm rolling with right here. Let's go ahead and grab this lantern. And I don't remember if the adjustments in the patch notes should be rolling around by now. I think it's maybe next week that we're going to be getting the adjustment to the Underspire. I'm not too sure. Somebody correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, seeing what's going to be there. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. You see how quick that was? Right? I'm here chatting it up with y'all, and I'm flying to the battles. I don't want it to be any different. I want to go through fights as fast as I'm doing right here. Just explosions, spell ready, kill them. Explosions. See what I'm talking about? Look at that. 2 of them dead already. Wow. Right? Super easy, super fast. That's how I like my teams, man. If you guys and gals found this video helpful and informative, remember to smash the like button. Comment to let me know what you guys think. Are you using similar teams to me in the Underspire, or maybe you're using something else? Let me know in the comment section. Catch you guys next one. Peace.